Millions of people taking to the streets Saturday across this country protesting against the Trump administration's policies and massive cuts to the federal workforce. ABC's Christian Cordero is in Washington, D.C. as well with the latest.
Chants from coast to coast after Saturday's hands-off protest drew in more than 1 million people, organizers say, across some 1,200 rallies in San Francisco and Seattle, from Los Angeles and Lincoln, Detroit to Denver, and right here in Washington, D.C., where an estimated 100,000 people filled the National Mall.
We all have something that we're upset about, and they're all important things.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has spent weeks making major cuts to the federal workforce with the goal of shrinking the government and saving billions in federal funds. His latest target, the Peace Corps. Sources tell ABC News Doge members entered Peace Corps headquarters Friday to begin a review of their system. Amid the Doge cuts, unemployment in March increased, the economic uncertainty keeping people like Stan Prusik up at night.
47 years of work, 47 years of savings. And, I just started Social Security, and, I'd like to enjoy, it's time to me to enjoy life.
The protest, a stern message to lawmakers across party lines.
We are standing up and saying in this moment we will organize and mobilize, and we are ready. 2 years, not 4, 2 years. We get to decide who is in Congress.
Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California among those to rally.
What's the plan?
We have to show fight. We have to fight on the inside as loudly as folks here are fighting on the outside. Otherwise, they'll lose hope.
And Christian joins me now for more on this. I'm wondering what impact, if any, do you think these protests are having? Has the White House taken notice?
Well, we'll see, Phil, because the White House hasn't released an official statement just yet, but the president is set to return back to Washington tonight after spending the weekend in Mar-a-Lago. As for the impact overall, one thing to really keep in mind here is that while the message certainly was targeted in large part to the Trump administration, it was also more broadly sent to lawmakers across party lines on Capitol Hill, right, in Washington, in Congress. And so this is really just kind of, people showing up and showing out and voicing their disapproval. And you would imagine that there will be a lot of conversations, regardless of who, what partisan lines they fall under, on how to meet the moment for these hundreds of thousands of people who showed up yesterday.
Yeah, and yesterday you were on the mall and you talked to a lot of these people. I know many of them were upset with what's happening in job cuts across the government. We've seen Elon Musk say, I believe he said it from the Oval, that when mistakes are made, they'll right them. That's little comfort for the people who are cut and then put back. But HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said some of his department's programs would soon be reinstated again after they were cut by mistake. What happened and where does it stand?
Yeah, addressing that word mistake, right? And a lot of that context is really important. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that some of these programs would be reinstated. It's unclear right now which ones were, but essentially what he's saying is that some people were laid off within HHS, Health and Human Services, that were not part of what DOGE is trying to do in their promise to shrink the government and cut federal spending. A lot of the jobs that they have targeted have been in more like the communications realm and the human resources realm. And what RFK Jr. is saying is that there were some research programs that were cut as well. So one thing he acknowledged was a CDC branch that monitors lead exposure in children and works on prevention efforts there. He's suggesting that that might be one thing that's reinstated, but it's still to be determined how many jobs and in what capacity will come back.
Still a lot of uncertainty. Christian Cordero, thank you very much.